All right, so here we are for the potential finale of Icewind Dale, Rime and the Frostmaiden. The last session, the party defeated the Lich. Not the last session. Last session, technically, they extracted the soul of the Lich Larthus from the Mythalar, and they now have that trapped within this magic jade cube. They knew that Auril was going to show up around midnight to do her nightly ritual spell, whatever, to keep the winter going. And so the group took essentially a 3-hour rest waiting for her arrival. And when she did, she arrived not with, cone of colds flying or anything like that. She just basically saw what happened, and I'll read verbatim what her last statement was to you guys. I see that you've proved yourself stronger than I thought. Or maybe Auril has outlived its usefulness. Either way, I'm here to bargain with you, for I'm not the heartless bitch queen that some describe me as. One or maybe all of you are to take the place of your Arthas to defend and rule this city. Your power shall grow to limits of only your imagination. Protect this city and this climate. Show the world the benefits of worshiping the Frostmaiden. True believers will not suffer the effects of the cold, but embrace it. You only need to take my hand and kneel, and I shall crown thee rulers and keepers of the newly risen city of Winter Hall. Just real quick, the Winter Hall, that's something I changed from the actual what I said last time. Winter Hall is actually a canon thing of Auril that's in the Forgotten Realm. It's basically like a giant floating winter city that she used to rule out of. So I renamed this, if it is risen, to Winter Hall. Go ahead.
Sounds like if we do take the knee, she'll raise the city.
So this is meta, right? Go ahead.
We can raise it. We can raise it with the Mythalar.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys have learned through, I think it's through Urlath's study, maybe, or maybe it was the library before that. Some of how this Mythalar works. That once, in days past, it was all the wizards of Ithrin that controlled this. And as long as they were all in agreement as to what power they were going to try to use it for, it would work. So that could be move the city, raise it. It could be control the weather. Not sure how much you guys read into it, but there's lots of things that probably can be done with this Mythalar if all who are attuned to it agree. It has to be 100% consensus. So if even one person says no, then that can't be done. So it needs to be a well-knit group that controls this.
We got 2 bards, so I was thinking of that song, "We Built This City."
On rock and roll.
Yeah, there you go.
On ice and coal. So before I started this recording, there was some discussion amongst the group, and I guess meta-wise, Dudley was sharing technically his secret. Now, we can metagame this, saying this is not him sharing it. I think he was sharing it for his reasoning as to why he didn't want to take Auril's offer. So, Dudley, I didn't mean to cut you off, so if you want to kind of pick up where you left off, that way I'll have it recorded, and I think it's really awesome.
Yeah, I think Dudley probably would have shared with the group, especially after like an event like Iltharis, and seeing the kind of power they have, thinking he could take over, like we could basically thwart Auril and push her away with enough power that maybe we can recover and bring things back to normal, because Dudley is from the area. He's seen the hardships that people have endured. He's seen, the Shardland Dragon take out a whole bunch of towns. But more importantly, Auril made him, as part of an agreement, kidnap his own daughter and basically put her into forced servitude at a young age into the priesthood, and has sort of hated her ever since, and has been on this whole mission just to get there. And while he doesn't have any spell slots left, he does have this Staff of Power that's fully charged, which, he's willing to make a rebutive strike, which is what it's called, and break it over his knee or break it against Auril and cause a big explosion of force damage and try to essentially blow her up. And if it's something that knocks her out, severely weakens her to the point of us being able to kill her or drive her back, he's willing to take the chance that he dies permanently outright, knowing that it possibly made the realms better. And because I don't think Dudley would in any way, shape, or form take a knee to Auril, even if it means to get to work on a giant floating city.
So just a thought: would we not be as a party waiting for Auril to come have a conversation as characters and role play this instead of each of us going, "Well, this is what my character would do"? Just a suggestion, throwing it out there. You know what I mean?
We can. I just don't want to turn into like an hour discussion or debate of trying to make a decision on that. That's the only reason why I asked
each
you
of
guys
us
kind of talk about
give their
beforehand.
points and decision. Okay.
Right. But I mean, technically, that's where you are now. I mean, Auril is here before you. She's asked this question. That's where we left the last session.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys want to just switch to that where we're now having a conversation with her, I'm fine with that. Unless one of you guys want to also speak your point as to why you're leaning one way or the other. This could be meta knowledge, but just to share amongst the players.
I'm putting this out to the party. Can we, if we were to fight her and Dudley did what he was going to and actually takes her out, would we still be able to raise the city and operate it in the regular season?
Well, technically,
I'm not
guys
attached
know-
to Auril.
I know.
Well, I am, but
technically the city
required?
was floating before Auril came along.
mm-hmm.
Wasn't the staff required to use the Mythalar, though?
There was nothing you read that said the staff was required for that. The staff was required for that obelisk thing.
Okay, I thought
To
that
go
that was
back
the
in
reason
time.
why we had to get the staff first, was to use the Mythalar or something like that. So that's my fault.
That was the time travel pattern. I would support Dudley's move, and then we restore the city and float up, and then restore the regular seasons to the area and be the heroes.
Okay, anybody else have a
I'm also
comment?
up for betraying her, and that's just me. Nobody?
I'm just
Well,
thinking.
Points
Gosh
for
dang it, I've been on mute. Sorry. I was gonna say, I would love to fly around in the city and, perform all over the world or, all over the area. That would be awesome. However, if the people are in perpetual winter, it's gonna be like where they're slave masters, and that ain't right.
What people? We saw the whole place get destroyed. I don't think there's any
Wow.
people left hardly.
Well,
got
the
that
people
last
who
one.
are left though. I mean,
but
if it's perpetual winter, I don't know
It'd be
how they
harder
would
to rebuild it.
hate us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be general knowledge to almost everybody, unless you're a complete idiot and maybe you have an intelligence of 8, that all deities or gods need followers in order to basically be. So without followers, they tend to lose their powers. So
Yeah.
the fact that 10 Towns has pretty much been obliterated, not to say that this is the only place Auril had followers, by no means, but I mean, she's going to need followers to keep on going. So to permanently kill a god, I don't know if any of your characters would know this, so it's just me talking meta knowledge. To permanently kill a god, the god has to have no followers and basically all records of that god wiped out, so no one can ever go back and learn about her. And that's how gods basically die and are banished to the astral plane. That's where the dead gods go, basically. Not sure if that helped or hindered. Go ahead.
Never mind. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know how we could do that and fly around in our awesome ass flying city.
Well, if she is weakened because of the lack of followers, and we know she's weakened because she's had other people do most of her bidding, then I'm not against taking her out and then restoring the city to flight and growing the city and being better leaders so that they have no reason to follow Auril.
Yeah.
And if Dudley has the staff of power and is willing to bust it over her ass, then I'm good with that too.
Well, the other thing too is, saying that we've killed or greatly reduced Auril's capacity might shift a lot of people from seeing her as someone that they have to serve because they're in this frigid overland and she's everywhere, to now there's freedom and room to breathe.
And Bavon's willing to take up the mantle of a god. I'm just saying. He can perform tricks for the masses to make them think he's powerful. He can talk like the wizard behind the curtain. So I'm good with that. I like that idea. And then restore the city after. So, or I can I don't mind bending a knee either because she gave me a gift. I'm immune to cold. So
Yeah.
So, do you guys want to do any more discussion, like meta knowledge, or you just want me to go ahead and bring Auril back in and we'll pick it up from there?
what do we decided, guys?
Yeah.
We all got to be on the same plan, so everybody's got to chime in. Like,
let's vote.
Well,
Or
now
if you
before your
wanna-
discussion,
I don't know.
sorry, Ryan.
I'll push it. We're going to have a conversation with Auril.
Okay.
All right, so we're picking back up where she just left off. She just made her offer, told you guys what to do. Now's your chance to either ask questions of her or attack her or run away or whatever you want to do. So there's no order here. So whoever wants to chime in
Okay.
first.
I'm going to ask her. Bavon's going to ask if we take the knee and follow you and raise the city, will you allow 2 seasons in the world so they can have a summer to grow crops and we can grow the cities, restore the strength of 10 towns, and maybe bring you more avid followers?
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check, Bavon,
Okay.
with advantage because she's been impressed by you guys.
Oh,
Crappy. Add them up.
Add them up. Okay.
Add them together. 20.
She'll respond with, she doesn't really it's like she's not computing what you're saying. And she'll say something along the lines of, it's no secret I need followers to retain my divinity. And those damn Duergar took out majority of my population. If having a few summers here brings more to my following, I might be open to that.
I think a gracious, kind God would have more followers than a punitive ice queen that's making their lives harder. We took care of a lot of the Duergar and opened that up. And I think if we can have equal summer to equal winter, you will gain more followers, and we will be the ones who speak kindly of you.
Okay, so this is meta knowledge for you, Bavon, since you're probably from this area. You're still in the north. Even without her presence, the summers will be short.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not necessarily, she can't promise you that summer's going to be the same as winter. You're still in the north,
Okay.
whether she's there or not.
right.
So our
Right.
regular seasons, the regular
Yeah.
seasons for this
Right.
area is all we're asking in return for bending a knee and taking your hand and
Yeah.
raising this city and running it in your name.
And she'll, tell you what, she'll say, I'll agree to these terms on one condition. I'll give you 12 months to bring me a following that will equal what I lost in 10 towns. If you can do that, we can continue with our agreement.
I think we can do it. I think we use our powers and knowledge and skills to make the lives of the people better and do it in the name of Auril and grow the cities as best we can. and grow the followers and show you in a kind light.
We can visit them all.
Yeah.
She
You
turns.
most should
Go
we
ahead.
ask? Sorry, I meant maybe this is an outside question, but maybe we should ask if she would release Dudley's daughter from servitude.
She'll turn her gaze to Dudley. Is this what you wish?
Dudley pauses and looks at her. And he would say, "Of course, I would wish for my daughter to be freed from the servitude to you, but how can we trust a god to maintain this integrity or these promises and not just screw us over as you have done to many people before, or this entire region, once our backs are turned or we're no longer around?"
At your comment of basically screwing over the people, she kind of, you can see, gets a little bit of a pissed off look on her face. Because who have I screwed over here? Were you not sent out by your own to die, and I brought you back?
Dudley would pause and say, "Well, that may be the case. You know, you made a deal to which I did not know what you required, and you asked so much of me that even being living became a chore."
Such is the life of Tin Town, is it not? If I had not raised you, what would have become of your daughter then? Would she have accepted you? Come back from the dead? She didn't live a bad life. She was in good hands. She lived. She went on. And I deprived her of the memories of that pain. Did I not?
I don't know. I haven't seen or heard from her since.
Oh, we got to retcon that, Dudley. Remember, she was the guide that brought you guys out to... Then you recognized her when you saw her.
Yes, sorry.
That we gave the goggles to?
Her name was Gwen May, if you guys remember. She's the one that rode out there with you, and then when you guys went into the tower, she left to go back to Tin Towns to warn them of the dragon.
The one that we gave the goggles to.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if you gave the goggles to her or not, but yeah.
That one,
I agree.
not the ugly one.
Right.
This lady, if it looks familiar to you.
Ooh, boom shakalaka. Sorry, Dudley.
So is Dudley?
I didn't know she was your daughter.
Or is Dudley? I'm still confused on what Dudley's race is. Is he the dragon or is he a dwarf? Or
He's a dwarf now.
okay, is she a dwarf?
Yes.
Okay, makes more sense. Was that the one that I tried to have marital affairs with?
I don't think so. I don't remember that.
I'm confused about the timeline of this. Did Auril raise Dudley when he died as a dragonborn and was raised as a dwarf?
No, Dudley was a dwarf and died, but Auril raised him as a dragonborn, and in turn for coming back, she
You mean raised as in resurrected, right? That's what you're.
yes. She resurrected me, but instead of a dwarf in my regular form, as a dragonborn.
And then when you died again, you're now a dwarf again, right?
Yes, because that's how the resurrection spell worked out, or the way Brian made it work.
And then she so rudely saved your daughter's life and gave her a good future.
Well, she made me kidnap her and take her away from my family as a dragonborn.
Oh,
Um,
I met them. I didn't like them. She had a better life.
um,
No, but just so I'm clear on Dudley's secret that he's now given away. So Dudley the dwarf was originally one of the ones that lost in the lottery and was sacrificed to Auril and exiled out into the cold. And as he died, Auril appeared to him and offered to resurrect him, but for a favor that she didn't define. And so once he's resurrected, her payment was to have him kidnap his own daughter and take her to a temple of Auril to be raised there as a priest. All right, so now all that's out. Where were we in our conversation, Dudley? I think she was kind of confronting you about whether or not she did the wrong thing or not.
well, and then my response would have been the whole reason I was cast out was for you. These sacrifices are hard on people, hard on the people, especially when they've lost so much and don't have very much at all.
And her response will be, it was not by my word they did sacrifices. If a sacrifice gets me more followers, I'll take it. If someone...
And that was my point. That was my point in Discord, was that Auril's not demanding sacrifices. The people are saying, if we sacrifice, then maybe Auril will treat us better.
And and we're asking for the release of his daughter from servitude and to right these wrongs. And we will be the ones who communicate to stop the sacrifices. We will teach people. We will teach people that the sacrifices are not necessary.
Auril will respond with, whether or not she serves me is of her own choice. I don't force anybody to serve me. She was raised within the temple of Aura and learned of my blessings that I give to those who are faithful to me. She kind of motions over towards Bhavan. Did I not give you a blessing on my island?
You gave me an amazing gift.
So maybe I'm not as cold-hearted as you all think I am.
Nope. I think if you will allow the summers and the seasons, we can help you build the followers and build you into a great goddess again. But I have to go with my whole group here. We have to all agree.
And slowly turns to each one of the others in the group. Dudley, anything else you want to say, or anybody else?
Dudley will hold and see if anyone else says anything as he contemplates this.
For God's sakes, man. And Ben's gonna kind of talk to Dudley. So your turn was picked, your name was drawn, and then you agreed to sacrifice your own daughter to save yourself. What kind of shit is this?
No, he didn't agree to it. He didn't know what the payment was before he said yes to be resurrected.
Aye, but once you learned of the payment, what then? What'd you do?
I had to do what was asked of me, for if not, then I felt this would be a waste.
Now, was Bent around, or was that Dent that met his daughter?
That would have been Dent, not Bent.
Okay.
And I, Bhavan the Stout, ask of you, Dudley, to join us. Forgive the past, and let's build a new future.
If you guys have actually met her, has Dudley seen her, or was Dudley not in the party when
Oh, Dudley met her, and I think he recognized her, and he never actually told her, as I recall, that he was her father, just in a
because-
dragonborn form.
All right.
Let me let Dudley think on that. She turns toward you, Valen. What of you? I can see your desires. What say
Goddess,
you, Valen?
Goddess, I have faithfully served you. I only ask that you allow me to be the steward of this magnificent city, because I'm the one most qualified to maintain its arcane status, to run the city in your name, of course, and to honor you, of course. I'm fine to work with the rest of these, with the rest of this party to achieve their goals of increasing your followers. I will do all these things in your honor.
Spoken like a true follower. Turn looks at the rest of you guys.
Captain, weigh in.
I guess. Well, for me, as Dudley and Bent were talking, he would have said to Bent that did she not take your brother through her magic, and us on this whole route to try and end winter is the reason why your brother is dead?
So Bent would, that's a great point. So Bent would say, if there's a way for me to get me brother back, perhaps now's the time to ask. He's going to kind of turn to Auril and say, my friends here tell me that my brother was turned to ice sculpture. He's somewhere on that island. Is there any way to restore him?
And puts one finger up to her chin, because perhaps I'm a goddess after all.
Perhaps you'd have another follower if you did.
Or perhaps if I had a few more followers, I could undo what's happened to your brother. But he chose that. He chose that fate. Just like your friend next to you, Bavon.
Yeah. Valen, we operated at the time on the information we had. I think we've all learned more, seen more, done more. And I think this is an opportunity to make this place better. If we're going to have, if she's already agreed to the seasons, we will make her a positive light in this area.
You're saying this to Valen or to the rest?
To Valen.
Okay.
To Valen and the rest of the party.
Okay. Yeah. Valen nods. She's good with that. She just wants to be in charge of the city.
Dudley
Not
would
fully.
Dudley would well, Dudley will let Bavon go on his not fully and design a list of responsibilities that he splits.
Valen, I got a question. Aren't you turning into some kind of weird creature since you've been down here?
I think I'm not the only one, yes? Isn't there somebody else?
I know we were cured, but I think we were planning on curing you tonight. Ran out of spells.
Oh, well, I assume that my goddess can remove that bothersome little curse.
Well, that's a good point. Are we going to all turn into creatures if we stay here, Auril?
Because some do, some don't. That is
Does
not
she
of my
not-
making.
I would turn to Bent again and say, she did not say she would raise your brother. She said perhaps. There was no agreement there.
She also said there's a chance that we'll all still turn into creatures here if we stay in this city.
But she said that was not under her control.
And she's also told me she's a goddess, and what isn't under her control is what was implied.
And she'll chime in on what you said there, Dudley, about her perhaps. Because it's true, I didn't give you a definitive answer. But what I need more than anything is followers. You bring me followers, and your brother will return.
Well, you should start unfreezing that one, and that's probably one right there.
See, how can we make a deal with someone who chooses not to deal fairly?
Well, Stefan's gonna try his silver tongue and ask Auril if she'll rule with wisdom and compassion for the people forevermore.
Well, make me pull up her character sheet, aren't you? Where is Auril's character sheet?
Are you persuading or deceiving?
I'm trying to make sure, I'm trying to persuade her to make the right decision of, ruling with wisdom and not, making sure that the endless winters or, don't go somewhere else.
Okay, if you're rolling persuasion, you can roll that. D8. All right, so how do I want to do this? Because if she's lying and I roll a deception, you'll know. If she's just going to do a insight or persuasion. Anyway, here's what I'm going to do.
DM, and then that way it's on the record, right? Is that something you can do?
I'm going to whisper this to Dudley. How can I whisper this to GM? Whisper. Dawn. Nope, Stefan, sorry. This doesn't tell you whether she's doing a deception or perception roll. This is just what her role is, okay?
Okay.
It's /R. Been so long since I've done this manually. Well, that didn't work good. Error. Okay, /W.
So do /W space Dudley
Or
space
Stefan.
Yeah.
Sorry, Stefan space square bracket 1d20 closing square bracket.
Yeah, that's what you're doing. Square bracket's what I wasn't doing. I was trying to do it the old-fashioned way. Wow. Stefan, I want you to look a little bit closer at what that plus is.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do that? Hold mouse over the number?
Yeah. That's cool.
Okay, so repeat to me what you were asking her to do.
I wanted her to formally recognize that she will rule with wisdom and benevolence over the people forevermore.
With benevolence and wisdom over the people.
So yeah, she's not gonna, slavery. She's not gonna whip the people. She's gonna rule with
benevolence and wisdom is what your question was.
Yes.
And she smiles big. Of course, I always do.
Okay.
That worked out well because no one else knows what I rolled. I like that. That was a good answer, I thought.
Yeah. And so
Shorty, what say you?
She's well aware of my opinion. I became a cleric in her name.
She's basically forcing you to say it out loud. Meta knowledge wise.
I go down on one knee. Making sure I'm at least 30 feet away from Dudley. Because I don't have 320 hit points.
There's one. Anyone else?
Yvonne will step up and go to one knee. Join me, gentlemen. Join me. Join us together. Together we will do good.
Valen, of course, will go to a knee and bow her head.
Let's switch the other map, just to make you guys nervous.
And roll for initiative.
Dudley would also point out that she hasn't committed to she hasn't committed to any specificity about the seasons and like what is the definition of those.
Well, there's extra cold and super cold. Of course.
Well, I think she said she would return it back to normal.
Yeah,
is what I recall.
She agreed to the normal seasons for the region
For 1 year unless we, but we do need a quantifiable number of followers.
Wait, for 1 year?
As long as she's going to check it after a year. If we provide her enough followers, then we're added to her followers, then she will continue.
Yeah, I think I said she wants you to replace what she's lost in 10 towns within a year.
Well, hey, okay, let's. Dudley just says, "Hang on." So we have to replace everybody that's been killed throughout this entire thing with people who already many don't like Auril or distrust her. And after all of these incidents where Auril hasn't looked out, Auril did not intervene with the Shardland Dragon. Dudley thinks that, a god that cared for its people would have intervened and stopped the Shardland Dragon from raining destruction down. But we did that, not her, and not with some blessing that she had.
Do the gods intervene when mortals fight each other? Not always.
Them people in 10 towns, right? They be repairing their homes either way. But if we are like the Grinch, rolling in with all the presents we stole that Auril took from them, and suddenly we give them all back, they'll befriend us. They'll befriend her. Get her more followers is what I'm thinking.
Or will they question us as to why we're coming in after this great destruction, which their god, whom many paid the ultimate price. I did. I paid the ultimate price with my life, and they have got nothing from that other than destruction rained down on them and hardship.
Listen, Dudley, you seem very diplomatic. Seems like you could have put this to use before you got killed by stupid people. Now that you're alive and you can come back and tell them and say, hey, by the way, stop sacrificing people. It's stupid. And then your daughter'd never be taken again.
So, I'd like to point out that none of the other gods that are there did anything to stop the Shardland Dragon from destroying 10 towns. And there are a number of temples in 10 towns.
What the hell's a Shardland Dragon?
That's right. You were on the ship, weren't you? You didn't see any of that.
I was busy eating people. It was gross, but I kind of liked it.
Yeah, because we wouldn't have talked about it at all in the last couple of weeks that we were.
Dudley would explain that there was a giant dragon made of a foul crystal that drives people crazy that wrought destruction on 10 towns. It rained blows upon the cities, wiped out entire sectors, families. Probably hit 3 orphanages that were stocked to the gills because their parents are dead from frostbite or sacrifice.
That's what
Not
you're saying.
sent by Auril.
I bet would have seen the destruction because when you guys came back from Grimskala, you guys went through Bryn Shander before you headed up north.
Yeah. He would have. I was just kind of joking about the dragon, but yeah, he wouldn't have known about the dragon part, but obviously the devastation, and we would have talked about that. Sorry.
Dudley would probably also point out that of all the gods in this region, is Auril not the one that is most followed or most represented here, and is not the one who brought these changes? I don't see other gods coming in and bringing such drastic changes as making it a forever winter.
that a question to the group or to Auril? Sorry.
It was a question out loud. Well, the first question about is Auril not the prominent god figure in this region as one, but two, at the same time, no other gods have taken away from these people as much as Auril has. Consider how much the cost of lamp oil has gone up, a basic thing that people need.
So I'll answer this based on your general knowledge of being in 10 towns, that there seem to be a lot more, you're not 100% sure if it's like full faithful people of Auril than it is more of people just fearing of Auril that give her, I guess, fellowship, so to speak. But there are, countless other temples within town, but the Auril one is one that tends to get most of the town riled up. There's a lot more arguments about that, a lot more people, a lot more boisterous about making sure we do our sacrifices to Auril, whether that be food, whether it be heat, whether it be sacrifice to appease her.
And we are going to teach the people that the sacrifices are not what is needed. We will bring back the seasons. We will show them that Auril is a benevolent goddess. And we will change the tides for this region.
But why can't Auril herself come out and say sacrifices are not needed in worship of me? Is that not something she could do? Why should we be the shepherds or the heralds of this change?
Speak up again. Said again, I never asked for sacrifices. Everyone has their own free will. I will not deny the fact that those sacrifices brought more followers to me, but it was not of my choice. I did not demand it.
You could have condemned them. You could have said that this is not how my followers should be. For I am a merciful and loving God. Instead, you incite fear through these sacrifices, through this dire change in winter.
And my friend Dudley, we have made our share of mistakes. So has Auril. We have an opportunity to change the tides here. We have an opportunity to change the perception of Auril and an opportunity to make this whole place better. Take it with us, my friend.
Just to continue with my paranoia of you guys, Dudley and Bavon, step towards Auril, since you guys said you were doing that.
Sure. Dudley will step forward.
Oh, okay then.
Well, he's stepping. Oh, I guess I should move myself closer.
Yeah, Shorty. You said you're stepping forward too, right? And kneeling?
No, he said he was staying 30 feet away from
I said I was staying 30 feet away from Dudley, is what I said.
Oh, okay. So you're kneeling right where you are? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. That's pretty fast.
Dudley will step here.
So Dudley stepping forward and doing what?
So Dudley has this feeling that Auril isn't up for no sacrifices. Can I get like an insight as to how, because Dudley doesn't trust her already, and again, her saying, well, I didn't ask for it, she didn't do anything to stop it either. Like,
Let me do that. Before we do a roll offering this stuff, I mean, just based on the general talk and knowledge within 10 towns, it's fairly common knowledge that Auril is a selfish god. It's all about, what makes her stronger, her more powerful. I mean, we can get into a whole argument, meta knowledge about what alignment is in D&D. I mean, to me, evil isn't necessarily like I go out and murder hobo people. Evil to me is like super selfish. All they care about is themselves. So Auril falls into that category. So where's I going with this? So she's not going to go out and just like the god of Baal and just relish in the thought of murdering people. She embraces the cold. She thinks that's where she gets her powers from. That's what her domain is. And so that's why she wants to keep this place as cold as possible. And her true believers are the ones that gain the immunity or resistance to cold. So that's going to be pretty much common knowledge throughout 10 towns.
Mm-hmm. We want to give the people an opportunity to see a different side of Auril. Give her the same powers, the same strength, but allow the people to have the seasons that will allow them to prosper. Mm-hmm. And I think that will convince people to follow.
So she'll look back at you, Dudley, and I still sense that you question my motives. Perhaps this will help. And she reaches out a hand to Bavon. You're still kneeling in front of her, right, Bavon?
Yeah.
As everyone gets nervous.
Yeah.
Bavon bomb.
Okay. So I should have said this when you guys step forward. There is a chill of about 15-foot radius outside of Auril as you step closer to him. It's not like damaging you, but you can definitely feel that the air gets colder. You step closer to you. And Bavon, she reaches down and holds out a hand for you.
Mm-hmm.
You want to place your hand in her?
Yep.
Okay. As soon as you place your hand in hers, you can feel the freezing cold, and like you can feel like your whole hand like freezes up like it's petrified. Make me a con save, Bavon.
Would I feel that? I'm immune.
You're immune to damage. You're not immune to feeling cold.
Okay.
Flash of Jesus.
Yeah, I'll throw my last flash of Jesus on it. For 5 more, so 19.
Okay. All right, so you watch your hand like turn to ice as she touches it. You can feel like some of that ice going through your veins, through your body. Again, it doesn't damage you, but you can feel it. And then your ice slowly starts to turn back more like a bluish, like think like Loki in whatever Iron Man movie that was, where he got touched by the Frost Kings. So your arm kind of turns. Yeah, not the White Walkers, not Game of Thrones. Shit, what'd I say?
It was the first Avengers movie.
Yes, thank you. I totally butchered that. But basically, like, when they touched them, like their arms would turn like blue. So your hand is now that color. And she says, "Arise, follower of Auril." And you'll eventually figure this out. But you can get this notion within your brain that you now have this uncanny knowledge of some new power that you now have. So I'll put this out as a meta knowledge, but you now have a new cantrip you can use called Icy Touch. And you guys should see that on the screen now.
Nice.
The rest of you guys see his arm change colors. The first time you look over at Bavon, you'll see his eyes have also turned like a icy blue solid color. Says you can join me with the attunement of the Mythalar, Bavon. Now rise and spread my word.
No. I rise, look at the group, and say, "I feel amazing."
Your eyes be blue, friend.
Better to see. I feel powerful and I feel amazing. Join us.
What color is me beard?
Blue.
It's not like you're wearing like rose-colored glasses or anything like that. You still see normal.
I know. I just thought that'd be funnier.
Yeah, I agree.
It's red, dumbass.
Oh, got me. Oh, had me for a minute there. I was getting scared.
Jordy, you approaching?
Yep.
Okay. She reaches down and holds out a hand to you as well. You taking her hand?
Yep.
Okay. You two watch as Shorty's hand turns ice and then back to that blue color. Your hands are now permanent. Your one hand is now permanently that color, by the way. If I didn't make that clear, Bavon and Shorty.
Yeah.
And you receive the same blessings. That icy touch cantrip. And she tells you two can attune to the Mythalar with her and rule the city once again.
Okay, so we're not attuned yet. We're this is part of the attunement process. Is that, I mean, meta knowledge? Just
You haven't done the attunement ritual process for the Mythalar yet. This is just you guys agreeing to follow Auril.
But
gotcha.
clearly, Auril is already attuned to it, so we have to. It's that. Kind
Oh,
of
as far as being in agreement with it, yeah. All
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Valen, of course, will take that knee because she wants to get access to the Mythalar.
Okay, roll me a con save.
Ready, con. Damn, you go, girl.
And this goes without saying, when you guys are doing this like true. You're not trying to be deceitful on this. Actually taking a knee to her, correct?
For Valen, that's certainly true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I figured that was the case, but if it's not, you can either whisper it to me or let me know when you approach. I mean, meta knowledge. Well, then, just like the others, one hand is now permanently colored blue. You have that cantrip.
I have chill touch. I do not have icy touch, but I guess I do now.
Can you share that again, Brian?
Yeah.
Can I drag it from somewhere onto her character sheet, or do I have
You
to
can't. I
manually-
tried.
Isn't it just the chill touch cantrip? Just it does ice damage instead of necrotic.
It's a little more powerful, and it's touch. But yeah, I'll share it again. Where'd I put it?
I got to mute for just a second and take a call. I'll be right back.
All right, Ben, I see your whisper. So, what are you doing with that info?
Well,
There's no. It's either yes or no at this point, Ben. I need to know that whenever you approach.
then I think it would be option one at the moment.
Okay, so approach if you want.
Okay. I'm gonna, as I get closer, maybe be thinking some happy song, maybe like dreidel, 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 or the equivalent of that at the time, right?
Hey, you can still give me a con save.
All right, I'm kind of doing that as far as applying bardic inspiration to myself. Is my idea there.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
All right, so con save.
Yeah.
All right.
In one
hold
second,
on.
I gotta whisper back to somebody.
Global save is bardic inspiration even for saves? Yeah, right.
1 second, I'm typing.
Saving throw. Okay, yeah. Bardic inspiration. Bardic inspiration. Okay. D8. Okay.
1 second, I'm still typing. Sorry.
Sorry.
Fuck. I typed all that shit and I had it wrong. God dang it.
To me?
No.
Shine Gold?
Somebody else.
Okay.
All right, let me
can
answer.
press up on the arrow, Brian. It'll just take you right back to your message, and then you can tweak the first part.
It's like it's been like ages since I've actually used freaking chat.
Felt the same today.
All right, so Bent, fourth time, just like before. One hand's now permanent blue. Your eyes turn that same color, and you have that cantrip. Tells you to rise.
I see something. Oh, bummer. It's not in the... Sweet.
Your call to who's whispering me.
I'm going to step back, bow. Yeah. Make sure you bring back me brother. That's one more follower for you.
She glances over at Stefan and turns her gaze on Dudley. Pulls out a hand, Dudley.
Dudley looks at Shorty, Valen, Bevan, and Dent. Who's measuring? Get your arrow off of me, Bent.
What you talking about, dude?
I saw that arrow.
Only the DM can see it now.
Dudley. Oof. And what's Stefan doing right now? Hang on.
He's waiting.
Oh, he's waiting. Okay. Dudley looks at all of these people who have taken the knee and is whatever. And Dudley closes his eyes and puts his hand on his lamp for a moment. You see a slight, if you're looking at him, like a red orange aura, I guess, about him, a little bit, very faint. And he says to Auril, will you release my daughter and take away her memories of this place?
Take away her memories of this place.
Well, of her time spent in servitude, as if it was nothing.
So
or is in service to some other god?
Erase her memories of when she was serving within the Temple of Auril. That's what you're asking, right?
Essentially, yes.
Okay. She goes, I must replace her with another. I've gained 4, but I can always take one more.
I look to him and says, you've gained 4 here. They're going to bring plenty more. You can give this one. And as Bent said, his brother Dent would be willing to serve if you took him out of the freezer like a meatloaf. He says, I will take my daughter and I will leave. I cannot give. My patron will not allow me to take a knee, but you do that, they can serve you and do what you want and need.
Give me a persuasion check, Dudley.
Can I play? I'm gonna play this card. This gives me advantage. I don't think I have persuasion, or do I? Advantage. Okay.
Very nice card. Good time to use it. 15. Okay. I'm going to GM roll this to you. Hopefully. /R. No, /W. Dudley.
Oh, I thought that 13 was. I thought that 13 was Brian rolling it. I was like, yeah.
No. Okay, hopefully I did this right. Son of a bitch, did it wrong. /R /Dudley /R double bracket the dice. Double bracket, right? What'd I do wrong? All right, well, fuck it. It's going to be out in the open. Even though you're not going to know what I'm rolling. It's just going to be a straight D20 roll. What the hell? Why does it say success?
It says 0 successes.
Yeah, that's weird. Basically, I rolled a 3.
I think you rolled a 14.
Yeah.
Okay, I rolled a 14. All right, she tells you to take my blessing as a sign of my good faith, and you have my word that I will erase your daughter's memories so long as I gain at least one more follower between now and the next full moon.
Again, me taking the blessing wasn't a option here.
This does not mean you have given your fealty to me. This is my way of showing my good grace upon those who do not even follow me.
Can I insight that in with my patron? Because like Dudley thinks she's being sneaky and like, you know, the coin in the bottom of the cup. Well, you took payment, so like it's yours.
Yep. I'll let you roll insight with advantage.
Okay. My character sheet. No. Okay. Sorry, my character sheet closed again. There we go. Oh, I'm really good at insight right now.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
All right, so I'm gonna put this out in the open, but just so you know, her deception and persuasion have the same bonus.
Okay.
So what you see in chat may not be what she's really doing. I'm just gonna pick one of them.
Okay.
Oh, what a bitch! I made it to GM. Let me roll it again. Fuck, even better. You can't really tell if she's being sneaky or not.
Oh my gosh.
Oh. 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 Oh.
But honestly, he's probably never felt more sure of anything in his life, right?
I'm more
Like me
sure
at the
that
stock market.
I'm more sure that I'm unsure. Is so to speak here. Woof. Woof. If anyone's looking at Dudley, he's very troubled at the moment.
She senses your hesitation. She goes, "Those who hesitate are not always fruitful with their blessings."
That sounds like a threat. Oh. Oh. So is Stefan the only one who hasn't taken a blessing at this point?
Yep, that is correct.
I
Devon
look at
approaches Dudley and says, "Leave it to us to replace the follower that your daughter will take away from her. We will make it our mission, our purpose, and we will make that happen for you, my friend."
but she's just gained 3, 4, potentially 5 with Dent and Stefan. If he's going to go, she's gained plenty already.
I've lost plenty.
And you negotiated after those had been gained, so we will take care of gaining the follower for you. What Bhavon is saying to you.
And we'll go back and fix the city back up for the fallen.
That is our goal.
And allow summer to come in.
Yes.
She sounds hot.
Oh.
Our people will be a hardy people and will be cold. And Stefan will take a knee.
Hey, step right up, Stefan. So she pulls her open hand away from you, Dudley, and hands it out to Stefan. You take her hand, Stefan?
I do.
Okay, roll me a con save.
Shit, this is scary.
Now, before you do this, are you being truthful with me? This is meta knowledge, but I need to know if you're being truthful or if you're trying to deceive. She'll know that. I mean, meta knowledge.
You know what? I think if the group wants this, then if we're gonna try this, I guess we need to try it. And no deception. Con save?
Yep, con save. Okay, and just like the rest of them, one hand turns to ice, back to blue. You've now got that cantrip. And she tells you can rise and attune to the Mythalar with her. Turns one last time back to Dudley. Dudley, your hesitation concerns me. I have forced no one here. But if you're not willing to kneel and take my blessing free of will, then you're free to go.
Dudley would point out that technically you just gained a follower through Stefan. So you can release my daughter now?
Maybe you should have taken the deal and agreed to it before you
And made that the clause.
before she did Stefan.
Her voice gets a little bit louder, a little more rough this time. Says, you're not here to dictate the circumstances of what I offer. My patience is growing thin, Dudley. Either take my offer or be gone.
I think we need patron versus patron battle.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll. Can I cast communism? Or
You have to remind me what that is. What's that communism again?
Summons Putin and his allies.
I also believe it's commune.
No, I changed it. No, I changed the name of it to communism for him. Way back.
Yeah.
Are you going to ask her for some questions?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask some questions.
Can I dial a friend?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I guess technically you can do this in your mind, right?
Yeah. I just close my eyes. The first question I would ask is, if I take this blessing, because I'm sure my patron would know, because I'm unsure, would that contradict the contract that we have?
Oh, you're asking if you take this blessing, will that cause you to basically lose your patron, correct?
Essentially, yes. And then, obviously, there may be some repercussions for Dudley with that.
Now, are you like fire and ice if you did that? Would you be like Steam, the Warlock of Steam or something?
The Warlock
Essentially.
of Steam.
Ice lava. That's what it would be.
I've never read or heard of a warlock that has two patrons. So I would say that's pretty common knowledge that a warlock can only have one patron.
But
So
a
if you-
patron and a deity is two different things, right?
Yeah, blessing and a patron are not the same thing.
Right.
So to answer your question, so I'm clear, your question is, if you take this blessing from her,
Yeah.
are you breaking your, your connection with your patron? Will you lose your patron, right?
Essentially, yeah. I'm asking, if I take this blessing, is this in some way severing the connection I have with my patron?
Okay.
Will he still fit in the genie bottle?
Because this seems like more than just a blessing.
Okay.
Maybe it's not. I don't know.
All right. So this is meta knowledge, but I'm going to say it out loud since this is somewhat the finale. Your Afridi patron responds to you, says, do not take a knee to her, or you'll sever anything I have ever given you. Her blessing could be, no pun intended, a blessing in disguise. Take her blessing and find out a way to kill her later.
Sorry, could you repeat that last part, Brian?
Take her blessing. We'll figure out how to kill her later.
Okay.
I like that plan.
So it doesn't destroy the contract bond, because I think, sorry, at the beginning you said that it would, if I take a knee to her, it would sever that.
Yeah, taking a knee and taking her blessing are two different things.
Okay. Okay. And my other question would be, yeah, I guess that's really my only question. I have you for a minute.
Just to kind of clarify, did
Yeah.
Ben take a knee or not, Brian?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
I just trying to remember real quick. I should know this, but did Ben take a knee or did not take a knee?
Took a knee. Took her
Dent
hand.
or dent?
Bent.
Yes. You took a knee and took her hand. Basically, you swore your fealty to her by doing that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yep.
You thought of another question?
I mean, that was kind of my question. Well, since it's just a yes or no question or yes or no answer, that kind of answers all of my yes or no questions. And
So
I'm like,
give me a straight up wisdom check, Dudley.
You got way
Something
more
else
than
that
a
I
yes
showed
or
you.
no answer.
yeah.
Oh, was that
I
only
mean,
supposed to be a yes or no?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
shit, sorry.
My question would have been, would this sever our connection? Yes or no? The answer is no. And then my other question would be, if I take this blessing, like, do you want me to, like, say yes if you want me to take this blessing and kill her later? Say no if you want me to take this blessing or refuse this blessing and try to kill her
Right.
now with the staff. That
Yeah,
would
so
be
basically since I screwed that up as a DM, that big long answer, that's all three of your questions.
yeah. So that I would have that question. Okay, so wisdom saving throw.
Just a wisdom check.
Wisdom check. Okay. Oh, I'm great. I'm wise. Wise as fuck.
Really?
Okay. Good to know.
Well, I have like a minus something right now to all my save, like everything. Anyways, that's cool. Okay. Dudley opens his eyes and he says he'll take the blessing, but he's not taking the knee.
Okay.
And that he wants defined numbers for like, and Dudley also can't help but think, like, Brian, do we have a sense of like what percentage of the population died? Because if it's over 50%, this deal's
Yes.
shit.
It's over 50%.
Oh, guy, how are we gonna, like, in a year?
You don't think just flying Winter's Hall around the area is going to make people go, holy crap, look? I think we should follow that, Datey.
Well, my thought is, if over 50% of 10th Town or like this whole area is dead, that means that she's lost probably 50% of her followers.
No, we don't know that. I mean, there only seem to be like 0.5% of those weirdos in that town when we were walking through.
This, like,
9-10 months.
I
there's
think
gonna be
you're
a huge
overestimating.
influx.
You're overestimating the amount of followers that she had in 10 towns.
Still being a doubting Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
Kent and
I mean,
Pavon are going to be knocking up the ladies left, right, and center. This is a floating brothel. We're going to replenish that quantity. of
still
people
takes
quickly.
9 months, and I don't know. I've seen Bent and you guys both take a couple blows. Like, you're straddling that keg all the time. Who knows if that's good for you?
That
That's
is
9 months for
vibrating
you.
the cherries. That is vibrating the cherries and keeping them working.
9 months. 9 months in humans.
Do dwarves have different? Do gnomes have different gestation periods?
1 month.
Yeah.
1 month.
For a litter of 4.
And it's a litter of 6.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, like Dudley will, based on his conversation with his patron, he will take the blessing. But yeah, definitely being very hesitant about it.
It's the next Nixum cult.
But like he wants like defined terms on the release of it all.
And he told you, says what did he say? Releasing your daughter as soon as he gets another follower to replenish her.
Right.
I guess what he said before, or she said before.
Yeah.
So when Shorty's litter pops out, your
Shorty's
daughter's
a boy.
free. Yeah, but Shorty's
Shorty's
going to go
litter
produce
does-
a litter, and it's going to
Shorty's-
show up in a month.
Yeah. Tourmaline,
Shorty-
let's go.
No. I was talking about gnomes. Kobolds.
Oh.
Kobolds lay 1 egg every 2 weeks if they need to.
There you go.
Yeah. Kobolds for sure are ridiculously fast, and then they reach adulthood by age 6, so they can lay more. We can
No,
just
it's
get
young.
an army-
It's younger. It's younger than that actually.
Really?
Oh, like 2 or something like that.
It's 3, I think.
Whoa,
I read up
all
on
right.
kobolds. I read up on kobolds the other day.
All right. So with Ben's information about the 10 towns or whatever, we're going back to those mines. What, Tourmaline, is that where it was? Where all the kobolds are?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just gonna they seem very susceptible. We get one ice dragon to follow Auril, and we're good. Forever.
Dudley, you said you're going to take her hand?
I'll take the blessing, but I'm not taking a knee.
Okay. Give me a con save. Ah,
Oh no.
hold on, I got to read now.
Oh no.
Wow.
He was right all along. Dudley was right.
Oh.
No. I think he just turns into an
Tell
ice
you what.
statue like Gent.
Before I say this, since your patron told you yes, I'll let you roll it with advantage. I think your patron's trying to give you a little bit more con value.
I tried to.
Your patron has no power here.
Apparently.
Okay. Your hand turns to ice. And then as it starts to look like it's going to turn back everyone else, it stays as ice. And you can feel the ice going through your veins. You don't have any of her blessings, right?
Don't think so.
Well, I did make it through the trials without dying.
Did you get the
That's
mark?
true.
I don't think Dudley ever had the mark. I think it was just
I never had the
on him.
mark.
and Shorty, I think, as I recall.
Yeah.
Correct.
All right, so you take this times 2 in cold damage,
Okay.
and your hand shatters.
Damn.
I sensed your doubt from the beginning, Dudley. You're not a true believer, but I will spare you as a token of my benevolence.
Oh, this is. Oh no.
You're free to go. Spread the word of the Frostmaiden, be it by fear or by faith. But you shall not rule here with your brethren. In 3 days' time, you will regain the use of your hand as it regrows.
You better
And perhaps
listen
at
to
that time, you'll get one of my blessings. Now be gone.
Well, wait a minute, because she just said, "I will not be able to do that with my brethren." So does that mean that she's not releasing my daughter? Because that's what that sounds like to me.
Are you asking her that?
I mean, yeah, Dudley will say, my kin, you're not releasing my daughter, as he's like screaming because his hand just basically shattered off.
My offer still stands. Bring another follower, and I'll do as I say. But you're no longer allowed here.
Shit. So can I like commune to my patron and say I'm banned from the club? What do you want me to do?
Yeah, third game. What level is that? Well, it's level
Pardon?
5. It's a level 5 spell, isn't it? Communism?
And it's once a day, isn't it?
It's once a day, but if I cast it more than once, there's a chance that it doesn't go through or something. There's a 25% chance for each casting. The first answer you get is after the first that you get no. Oh no, it's one a day. Yeah, okay, so it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, that's when you got from your patron, so it was limited just once a day.
Yeah. Oh. Oh gosh, what's that?
And she'll start walking towards the Mythalar.
Very snugly.
Hang on.
Beckons her followers.
Hang on, Brian. One quick second. So if I'm not welcome here, I'm never gonna be around her again. Is that what I'm understanding?
You're not welcome in the city anymore.
Right, but that means I'm never gonna be like. I assume Aural's like residing in this city.
Sorry, guys, I got a family call I got to take.
Yeah.
All right, see you, man.
No, Aural's not confined to the city, if that's what you're asking.
Okay.
I mean, you know that just from your adventure so far. I mean, she was over at that other island of Grimskala. You guys have seen or heard stories of her riding her rock at night throughout 10 towns.
Right. I mean, like, sure, Dudley will walk in the opposite direction, I guess. Not for now, anyways. Not wanting to. Yeah. Well. Yeah, Dudley will walk away. Whatever.
Man, this feels shitty. I'm sorry, Kev, but you rolled horrible on that.
That's fine. No, that's the way. That's the way the rolls go.
Okay. All right, so Aural's going to step up to the Mythalar, and ask the rest of her followers to join her.
Oh, let me get him this backside here.
I'm still paranoid, huh? Stefan? Does Stefan step away?
Wait a minute.
I'm here.
Well, I do have a problem though, because like I'm not going to get out of this place in like enough time before the next moon up.
Next full moon.
I wondered how you were getting out. You could go make friends with the Dryad and just hang out.
Could. Yeah.
Stefan, are you back? Are you stepping away?
I'm here.
Are you moving up to the Mythalar?
I guess so. Is that what we're doing?
That's what she asked you guys to do.
Okay. Yeah. I think if she's going to be benevolent, let's do it.
Okay. All right. So, as you guys start your ritual of attuning to the Mythalar along with Auril, and just to be clear, you guys all agreed to take the knee willingly, wasn't being deceptive. Because if so, you would have a different DC you got to meet, like Dudley unfortunately did. Not that it would have mattered on his rolls. But over the course of the next hour, you guys can feel the power of the Mythalar coursing through your veins. And you can almost sense the thoughts of the others around you. Not necessarily Auril's, but you can sense the thoughts of Shorty, Bent, Belin, Bavon, almost like you have one shared mind. You can almost hear like the wants or needs of each of those that are attuned to it. And at this point, you guys can choose what you want to do from this point with Mythalar. You guys learn the innate, I guess, knowledge now of what you can do with this Mythalar at this point. Your choices at this point are to raise the city. You can drop the protective shield that's around. There's two of them. There's one around the city itself that's keeping the ice glacier itself from crushing the city, and there's the one that basically protects the spire and keeps anything from coming in and out of the Mythalar. You can control the weather, but you need to be outside for that. What Auril was doing, and you got to pick up a sense of this since you're now attuned with her, is she was using her own power and using the Mythalar to kind of charge that spell and bring the magic up through the glacier to keep the winter going. But you guys have control of bringing that back. You can technically, if you're all in agreement, use the Mythalar to make it, hot like a jungle in any area. I think it's within, I have to go back and read my notes, but I'm going to say it's within like a 30-mile radius of where this city, where this Mythalar is. So it's at this point where this is kind of like the end of the campaign, where I'll give you guys a chance to kind of talk about what you want to do next and where we go from here.
Brian, did she end up giving us cold immunity like she promised? You didn't really talk about that. You just talked about the icy touch cantrip.
That's going to be part of like the story moving forward. She didn't tell you that, but meta knowledge, you'll figure that out over the next few days, that you also have this immunity to cold.
Okay, so I think that what we should do, this is my suggestion, we should fly this city up and over Bryn Shander, not to put it in a shadow, but to be within range, and then make it warm so that people can rebuild Bryn Shander. And then we take the city after a period of time, and then we float it over on the next biggest place, and then we let them help them rebuild in the glow of warmth.
Sorry about that, guys. I'm back.
So let me start off with Dudley, since he's like the odd man out here. While this is happening, was there anything you wanted to do, or you're going to head back down and try to find your daughter? What's your end game here with Dudley?
I mean, Dudley's plan is basically find someone to convert, doesn't matter who, convert them so he can save his daughter, and like spend the rest of the time plotting with his patron on how to get back at Auril.
If Bent were here, he'd say maybe you should invest in a ferry. And then promise the ferry owner that if the ferry business does exceedingly well this year, unlike endless winter times, then he should turn his life over to Auril. Kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, but that's going to take me at least a month to get there. Like, I need to find someone in this cave and convince, which is, as Shorty said, the Dryad, basically.
So what do you want to do with the Dryad? Talk the Dryad into, because just so I'm clear, make sure I didn't say it wrong. When she said I need a new follower by the new moon, that's like a full moon.
Yeah.
Not the next moon, the next full moon. So it's
Yeah,
not
the
necessarily
next
within
full
a day.
moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I think it's definitely going to take me more than, especially with one arm, more than 30 days to get to town from here, because it took us, 2 weeks by dog sled?
I can't remember what I said. Is that what it was, really?
It was a week. It was like, it seemed like a long time.
Yeah, it would have been a long time to get there. That is correct.
So like, if I'm walking without sleds or supplies, like, unless I run into
the city. Just kidding.
I'm not allowed.
I know.
I got banned.
I know. I'm good with that. No, just kidding. Trying to be supportive.
This is meta. This is total meta, and this is me, not my character. But I'm just trying to understand. So you want to find a follower of Auril to release your daughter?
Make a follower.
Yeah, she's a new
have
one.
Her follow. Have that person follow Auril, become a follower, get my daughter back, and then basically leave.
Get out of Icewind Dale.
Get out of Icewind Dale, and then basically come up with a plan with my patron to kill Auril.
Yeah, but so
why not just keep going?
What if you're
released? Why wouldn't you just leave?
why wouldn't you just be the follower if you thought it was going to help your daughter? But you saw her, right? I don't remember us meeting her, but if I'm wondering, like, was Dudley's thing like, hey, she's doing great. I don't have to introduce myself as her weird dragonborn dad that used to be your dad.
Well, that's part of the wiping the memories. Like Dudley's whole thing is that he does not like Auril. So even though, like, yes, that would conceptually be the logical, thoughtful, regular person approach. Yeah, Dudley's viewpoint might be flawed and he might be seething at Auril. He spent this whole time tracking around, watching Auril's in action through the dragon, watching everything else. So to him, anything Auril related is
Yeah, and I get it.
horrible.
I mean, Kevin and I have had a conversation like this past week, trying to figure out logic with this, and I understand where he's coming from. He's got Nefertiti as a patron. What she did to him, although he agreed to it, but he agreed to it before he knew the circumstances of that deal, and it's been eating at him. So I get why he doesn't want to take a knee to her.
Thing. So he's going to find and condemn like the first person he can. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
But you should have been the first one to take this deal, and then you could have got me. I would have let you convince me. Oh, Dudley, sure. Yes, I'll be a follower.
Sure, Auril would have accepted that.
Because it seemed like you all were going to accept this anyways. Like, you guys were low hanging fruit.
I wasn't.
You had one right there. The one right before you was like, kill, kill, kill. I want a bard for the world.
All right, so Kev, part of me still feels guilty as a DM for kind of putting you to be the odd man out. So I'm going to say there's going to be somebody waiting outside the Caves of Hunger from one of the Reggae tribes you met before, and they'll ensure you get to one of the towns, before the next full moon.
What? Sorry, you said one of the Reggae tribes?
Yeah, one of the Reggae barbarian tribes
Reggae.
that you guys met out in the tundra.
Okay, so like like the Whalers?
Yeah,
the Whalers. I think you guys also met another couple tribes on your way up to the Caves of Hunger when you first traveled from 10 towns.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll do my best to convince them to worship Auril.
Instead of just hitching a ride, convince them to switch sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll claim that my stump will be healed in 3 days through Auril's magic. Maybe that'll convince them.
Nice.
So, okay, let's cross that bridge in a second. We'll hear what everyone else is going to do with now that they've got control of this Mythalar, because that may or may not impact more of Dudley's epilogue story. Okay, so the rest of you guys, Shorty started talking about it, I think, about wanting to raise the city. Is that correct?
Yep.
Is that what you guys all wanted to agree to do?
Yeah.
Yes. We want to raise the city.
Bent?
Yeah. Ben would just kind of hope it flies to the west, right? Where he met up with this group.
You guys will have full control over the direction it goes.
Yeah. We'll go up and retrieve Dent.
Yeah, there you go. Well, remember, Bent finally thinks that he's strong enough to try his own magic to revive Dent. So.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Oh.
That was actually like one of his primary goals. So whether it's you guys go off with the ice fortress and he kind of does his own thing, that's totally agreeable too. So obviously if he's like west and you guys are all like south, he'll be like, all right, fine, south.
All right. So after an hour of you guys doing this attunement to it, you guys can all concentrate on raising the city. You guys can start to hear the cracks in the ice above. And eventually those cracks start kind of growing, and you can see like the shield around the city, upper portion of it, not just around the spire, is starting to push up on that ice. And it cracks and starts kind of moving to the side, like it's being forced upwards. And after, say, about 15, 20 minutes, you guys break through the Righead Glacier, and you rise to, I'll say, roughly about 300 feet in the air. So let's switch back to the big map.
Glad I got that feather ball.
Yep, same here.
You guys are on the island still, but obviously just floating. So if you guys don't remember, I'll probably have to do a shift click because this map's probably pretty big on you guys. I'll do a shift click. Right here is where the Lost City of Ether breaks through the Great Glacier. So
Oh,
you
wow.
may need to really zoom out of this gigantic map to see all of it.
Good lord.
Probably more like about, 40% to see most of it.
Wow.
And the city doesn't it's not like a jet plane, it's not going really fast. It's got a pretty slow, steady pace as it moves it over there. But I'll say it probably takes at least 2 or 3 days for the glacier to get to a point where it can be seen from Kelvin's Cairn or Cair Koenig at that point.
Okay.
But even before that, from 300 feet up, you can still see. Actually, once you get the city up in the air and moving, you guys can do the other stuff with it. You can drop a shield, you can keep it up, you can start trying to control the weather. At what point do you guys want to do that? You said you want to do it over the cities or as you go? What do you want to do?
I'm going to use magical tinkering to create glowing rocks and spell worship Auril on the bottom of the city.
Giant. What language are you going to put it in?
We'll start with just common.
It's common. Okay.
Huh?
How big of a thing can you make with this? Is it gigantic letters?
I can do a bunch of them, right?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
So I can just keep going in little pebbles, and I'll write it. And I'm flying around with my keg as we're traveling, and I'm spelling out worship Auril.
Oh, this is awesome.
Auril saves.
Oral saves.
All right, so I'm not gonna make you roll for this, but over the course of the next 2 days, you guys are going through the, the tundra. At this point, all you're seeing is the occasional righead barbarian tribe on the move with going after the reindeer herds. And those of you that can tell from this distance, you get some just kind of strange, just standing there looking, mouths open. Others seem to be running away in fear. But over the course of 2 or 3 days, Auril tells you that you've gained at least 20, 25 followers just in your travels from the Reggae Glacier to the point where you can be seen from Kelvin's Cairn.
Nice.
And Dudley, even on sleds, I say it's going to take you. I'll say the city moves faster than you on sleds because the city is never stopping; it's always moving. So I say it's going to take you probably a week to get to Cair Koenig on a sled, even with the Reggae Glaciers. But the new moon is not going to be for 2 more weeks.
Okay.
Okay, so you still got another week to find someone and convince them, which technically, once the big town, floating city, gets closer to 10 towns, it won't be that hard to convert somebody because there's going to be somebody stupid enough just to say, holy shit, something can have a floating city. Yeah, I want to worship that.
We also have food, right? That'll be the deciding factor, I think.
The what?
If we can have food up here, I think that'll win it for sure. That'll seal the deal.
Well, if you recall, within the spire, there was that magic chest that allowed you to basically conjure up anything you wanted.
Yeah.
There you go. Brian, I don't know if you saw it, but my spell combo, I jump off the edge of the city, feather fall to the ground, I preach it with my high persuasion, and then I grab a hold of the new follower and head back to the city.
You can bring a follower back to the city?
Yeah, I can dimension door, bring them right back with me. Poof.
Okay.
Boop, boop. There's a boop boop.
So that brings up another good point. So during the course of the next 2 days, if you guys are out walking about the city, let's see, what all stuff did you miss?
So smashing tambourines together, going Auril, 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 follow Auril today.
There you go. That's a good one.
So,
is that a persuasion check or performance?
I'll be a bard.
Give me a performance check with advantage. I'm cool with that. Not bad.
Oh, yeah.
Not bad.
Pretty nice.
You guys have a few reggae that could barely speak or read start to recite your song.
Come on.
And we're throwing them food as we go. Feeding the masses.
Is there anybody that's on the island, or I guess even Dudley on the first day, anything specific you would do?
I would go
You
to
can't
the
say
critter
no.
place and fix the machine for Shorty.
Okay, and that's what I'm going to start to kind of share with you guys, some of the stuff that you discover in the city that you didn't while you were there. You guys will find a library there with a headless golem that is like rampaging through the library. So you guys have to basically kill it. That's if you guys remember the head you found in the caves, there's the body. It was in this library just going nuts because it can't find its head.
Let's kill it.
So what else was in the city? Let me switch to that map to help me remember. Unless this is boring to you guys. You guys tell me if you don't want to hear this.
Nope. Let's do it.
That's cool.
Okay, so I got to pull up the handout to make sure I get it right. Let's see. This is where the Build-A-Bear was. That's going to take you probably several weeks, if not a month worth of work, Bavon, to possibly get it back to work.
Okay.
But through your artificial skills and everything else, you should be able to get that back and running. And I'll just go ahead and say now, Dudley, within that next 2 weeks, you will find your daughter, like just kind of walking around the city of Bryn Shander. She has no memory of how the city got like this or even how she got here. But when she sees you, she instantly remembers you. And I guess how far back were you wanting him to erase the memory? Erase the memory of you even being chosen a lottery and sacrifice, or just her time when she was under the Temple of Auril?
I mean, that's a good question. I think ideally it would be back to, because it would be weird because the rest of his family would know that he's been sacrificed.
Now
Whether
she's Uncle Dudley.
And whether or not my family survived the attack from the Shardland Dragon, I don't know.
We didn't roll for that. How many other family members did you have?
Well, it would have been probably like 4 plus myself. So,
including your daughter?
Yes.
So 3 others?
No, yeah, 3 others.
Okay. Like a wife and 2 more kids, or was one of them like a parent?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to do this just like I did for everybody else in town. 75% of the population passed away. So roll me a D100. If you roll a 1 through 25, then your wife is alive. Sorry.
Dead.
Oh.
Okay. Now for your second kid. 1 through 25, he's... Damn. Last but not least, you're not your daughter, but your other kid. Hey, there you go. All right, so your choice, whether it's a son or daughter, I don't remember what you had, or if you ever defined that, but you find your daughter with her, or no memory of being in the temple, and you also find your other child as well within that time frame.
Daughter's daughter.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I can make that work.
Okay. And are you going to be like sharing with the surviving townfolk of your journey into the Caves of Hunger and Yithrin and how you help them basically create this floating city in the sky, or are you keeping that all to yourself?
I probably don't, because that would just like, well, you know what? Yeah, Dudley might share that because he would see that as possibly a way to create a following, or like a group that would be primed for rebellion in the future. That, Auril didn't really do this. It was us who made it possible.
Oh, man, I like that. Sowing the seeds of discontent.
Yeah. Because I only needed to get one person, which presumably I got.
Yeah, I like it. But unfortunately, where I was going with that, if you're trying to like help Auril, then... But yeah, you gain some fame and notoriety for the next few weeks, just based on the fact that you went there and survived. Now imagine during these next few weeks, you guys you're not like confined to the island, like you said. You can drop down and go visit. Just you rule that city. But I'm assuming you guys would any of you guys go and visit with Dudley if you could? I'm assuming you would. There was no hard feelings, right, when he left?
No.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so all of you guys would be getting a following of just people in awe. I mean, granted, there's only like 25% of the population left, but as your plans move along, assuming you're going to like warm up the cities and help them rebuild, as the winter kind of subsides around those areas, you guys get an influx of more people from Sword Coast, wherever else it is. I heard the news, and so your renown and fame just grows to the point where, Dudley, specific to you, I'm assuming, I don't want to put words in your mouth, you're going to reopen your little tinkering shop. Is that correct?
Yeah, Dudley would do something like that.
Okay. And you can't keep stock on the shelves. You become so famous, and there's even a few wealthy merchantmen from the Sword Coast, from Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate and Myth Drainer, the elves from Myth Drainer, come to you wanting to know about if they could set up their own little shops, and they had deliveries from you, so they can.
So they want a franchise. Okay.
Yes,
Cool.
exactly, because you're that famous now.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What else? I had some notes in here what other people might do. Anything else you guys want to do while this is going around and warming up the towns and helping them rebuild? Anything specific?
No, I just want to, Bavon would work on ways to provide food during the cold winter months for the populace. So technology and gadgets and stuff that would help them gather fish and maybe grow crops in the cold climate, like greenhouses and stuff like that.
Go convert some druids, get some berries going.
Yeah.
With berry operation.
Yeah, a little cannabis hut. Keep 'em high.
Help rebuild the Goodmead.
Oh yeah.
Distillery.
Priority.
We just land our city on top of Dugan's butthole.
Just crush it to oblivion, and this is our new stationary spot.
Yeah, we just squish it.
Well, I'll say this. So as one of your, I guess, inventions, you also come up with a better and more efficient way of making the Goodmead ale. And in honor of you, they renamed the town in honor of you, and whatever name you want. They can even name it, Babonville, or whatever you want, but it's your choice.
Steinyville.
Do what?
Steinyville.
Oh, very nice. All right. So from here forward, Goodmead is now known as Steinyville in honor of the great Bavon.
Dugan's hole, then.
Let's see what I put in my
Dugan's where
notes
we
here.
pump our wastewater. Right up Dugan's hole.
Jeez. So my notes here say Bavon spends months, if not years, studying the artifacts and various machinations of Ythrin, gained valuable knowledge on this ancient tech, and even manages to reproduce some of it. If you choose to open that artificer shop, then just like with Dudley, you get buyers from all of Faerun, travel to see and buy all of your inventions. Okay. Anything else you want to add, Bavon?
Nope. He spends the rest of his days developing technology for the masses.
Awesome. Okay. Bent, what else you want to add before I kind of read what I had written up here?
Ben would make his way up to that. I don't remember what the island's name was. The one we had to take the whale to. But,
Grimscala, where your brother is?
Yeah. He'd make his way there, whether via whale or boat or.
I would actually give Bent my keg to get him there.
Okay.
If you ask, Auril will fly you guys can fly the island over to Grimscala if you want.
Yeah, I figured that the island's going to be kind of busy for a little while, so I figured Bent might have to break away or something. But yeah, he's going to get there. He's going to try to use the Greater Restoration on Dent.
Okay. All right. Greater Restoration is what you needed. I think you guys knew that when you left him there. And I'll let you kind of role play how Bent comes back, but he obviously has no memory of what's happened since then. And I imagine you and he probably spend some time reminiscing about old times, and I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, just to bring him on. I don't want to role play with myself. It's my twin brother or something. But
only in Dugan's Hole can you play with yourself.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Actually, I was thinking more. What? This is the first time something stopped you from playing with yourself.
Yeah, so Bent would fill in Dent on what happened. There'd be a lot of no way. Hey, did I tell you that I killed a townsfolk? Blew him up right like that. Thought he was evil. And I'm gonna say
Back and
like,
forth. This is good.
yeah, I heard about that. It's what led me to find you here. Except for you had been frozen in ice. I take it back. I'm totally role playing with myself. Right. So, anyways, yeah, he would bring him back to the floaty island thing. Bent would, I'm sure, really be hardcore about getting that stupid ferry thing going. I mean, that was his life's mission. He didn't have a life's mission like find his brother. He thought his brother was dead. Now he's reunited, and he's thoroughly convinced Bent that yes, we need to go there and run that ferry operation.
Okay.
I try to tell him ferries are obsolete. We have a flying giant city. I think that's kind of stupid, and I'm not sure what happens after that.
All right, so this is good because it kind of ties into what I kind of had as a potential, I guess, right off to the sunset kind of thing, so that you do go back and you help them rebuild the ferry there at East Haven. But then that experience leads either Bent or Dent, maybe both, maybe neither if you don't like this, to do the same thing, but build a ferry from the mainland to the island of Grimskala, where some of the townsfolk will encourage you guys to build a town there. That'll be kind of like a whalers, I guess, hub, so to speak. So you can send off more ships either down to Sword Coast from there. You can build your own whaler business, or you can sell that off to somebody else. But seeing Grimskala is kind of like their new, I guess, home away from home, so to speak, and named after you or your brother or both.
I absolutely like it. I like it as far as like a Temple of Auril thing. I think that'd be a cool spot and bringing people in and out and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think I'd need to change the name.
Okay. I'll keep the name of Grimskala, which technically was a giant name, frost giant name.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
Okay. Anything else you want to add to that?
I don't think so. I think it's fun.
Just want you to reconsider Steiny Vale. Just as a name.
Steiny Island.
Steiny Island.
The Isle of Steins.
Yeah.
Isle of Oral Steins. Regardless, you guys can figure that out if you want. Okay. All right. So, Dudley, I think we kind of covered yours, but let me kind of read to you what I've gotten here. I think it kind of is the same thing you did. It said, Dudley, make it back to your dwarven home. You reunite with your daughter. And did you ever decide if your other kid was a son or a daughter that lived?
Let's go with the evens odds. Evens a boy, odds a girl. Okay, a boy.
Right. So I said you go back and restart your business, and then whether or not you agree to this, your kids kind of take up that mantle of the tinkerer lifestyle and kind of help you build more based mainly on your pure volume that you need to keep up with all the demand.
Yeah.
And you guys start living out your rest of days and just in harmony and you know you still got the thing of Auril over top of you, and your patron is still kind of scheming and planning with you what you can do next. And for the rest of you, meta knowledge wise, this is where I told Kev that if he ends up not falling under, like taking a knee or whatever to Auril, this could be something where I do like a little one shot or 2 or 3 shot higher adventure of how Dudley tries to get back at Auril. So that's a possibility as well.
So all of us against Dudley?
Or it could be another group that joins Dudley and goes against them. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really put a whole lot of thought into it, but I just told him that was another, since it left kind of like open-ended with Dudley. It's technically with all of you, but more so it felt with Dudley.
Yeah.
Great.
I talked about your fame and fortune leads you to franchise possibilities for shops located all throughout the Sword Coast. And you decided that she was not going to remember your daughter's not going to remember anything from her time at the Auril Temple. Now, I will say that there will be a few. Actually, there were quite a few Auril followers that survived, just because a lot of her followers were the guides and stuff, so they weren't necessarily in the towns.
Right.
They had like little camps and stuff that are outside the town. So there was a lot more Auril followers that lived more so than non-true believers that were in the city. And all of you guys would eventually see that as well. But they're not hostile to anybody. They're just their same old kind of selfish and quote unquote evil ways from that standpoint of how they handle themselves.
Tambourines and popsicles.
Right. Shorty, anything you want to add to your story?
No, Shorty's a pretty content little kobold. He's not looking for power. He's looking for someone to follow. He's looking for a job to do. So hanging out in the menagerie and playing with his flying hair, and
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Maybe potentially potentially building an entire, over the course of however, giving up half of his hit points and building another one, and then half his hit points, and then building another one, and getting himself an entire gang, an entire baseball team full of little pets that hang out with him.
A gift for his friend. Saying.
All right, so let me share with you what I kind of wrote up here for some. It's up to you whether you accept this or not. But after Shorty accepts Auril's offer and spends time in the city, obviously the menagerie as well, he figures out, I think you already mentioned this maybe once or twice before, but your bees are gradually transforming into these little icy blue little hornets, so to speak. And this eventually leads to the creation of a new mortal bee that first just lives on the floating city, but you're also able to kind of bring down to the new 10 towns and find different places there for them to thrive, including Goodmead. So you come up with a new ale that comes already pre-chilled thanks to the honey produced from these little icy bees that you have now created. So it's up to you if you want to name this new new ale after something else. And even though they kind of talked about Goodmead being renamed Steinyville, they almost like create another microbrew town not too far from Goodmead just for this icy blue ale. So if you want to name that town something of your liking, you can do that as well.
All right, I got to think about that though. What that name's going to be?
Okay.
How about Blue Beehole?
Blue bee hole? We like blue bees and boobies.
Bees. Wow. Okay. Good segue. Anything else you want to add to that, Shorty? You're good for now.
Nope, that's good.
Okay. All right, Stefan. News of your renown and fame of basically aligning with Auril, bringing this giant, magnificent floating city out from underneath the glacier has brought you, unfathomable fame. And as you continue with your, your tour, so to speak, like you mentioned that before, you want to go around doing your tunes, whatever. You're able to pretty much bed any girl that comes up to you. And within 2 years' time, you have no less than 36 children throughout 10 towns.
Damn right. Nice.
And you can name them however you want, but I imagine you named them like Stefan 1, Stefan 2, Stefan 3, or Stefan A, B, C, D, or Stefan Boy, Stefan Girl 2, something like that.
I started with the A though, and then I went to the B, and so then I had a C name. So it was like Albert, Bob, Charlie. So that's how
I thought it would be like Affin, Beffin, Keffin, Deffin.
Oh, that's good. I like that
all the way
too.
down.
Oh my
Then-
gosh,
then
that would make it so
effing.
much easier. Yeah.
I like that even better.
Yeah.
To the point
Beffin,
where
Deffin.
I even said like you would form your own little band, or you're obviously like the lead singer and the lead of the band, but you have a little traveling band that goes around with you, not just in 10 towns, but all through the Sword Coast as well. And you plant your seed wherever you go. You're not even sure how many children you have within 4 or 5 years.
Your last
Nice.
name's Partridge.
Yeah. That's
So-
awesome.
So if there's anything else you want to add to your epilogue, now's your time to kind of share if you want.
Okay. Well, Stefan's going to use his oratorical skills, and he's going to be known at all the local taverns, wenches halls, whorehouses, everywhere with his orator skill and his ability to persuade people to join Auril and, the love for our beautiful country.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope, I'm going to do that every time we go to a new city. New bar, I'm going to hit them all over the course of time. Yep.
All right. So last, but definitely not least, Wayne, you still with us? I see you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm still here. I was just eating some
Okay.
dessert.
So, anything you want to add to Valin, or me to go first?
Why don't you
Wayne,
go? I mean, I was happy to play her, but I know you might possibly have future plans for her, so I don't want to misspeak.
Well, I know you and I have talked a lot about what her motivations, everything are. So I think you got a pretty firm grasp on it. So, I mean, I'm okay going first, or you can. I'm confident with that. Or if you'd rather go first, I will as well. You tell me.
Yeah, why don't you go first?
Okay. All right. So over the course of the next weeks or so, Valin is as cordial as she can be. You guys have always kind of she's always come across somewhat rash, somewhat not so courteous, but she does her job and she helps you guys kind of rebuild the different cities and stuff and tries to give direction where she can. But say after about 6 months or so, you notice her starting to get a little bit more secretive, a little bit more not so open. Not that she was ever an open book. And how do I put this? So how long are the rest of you guys want to basically reside on this city? Because Valin makes it known that she wants to be the one, the ruler, and the rest of you guys are she's okay with you guys all having a part of controlling what the Mythallar does, but she wants to be known as the ruler, the queen, so to speak, of Winter Hall.
Have we found out if Valin knows the spell Featherfall yet or not? During our time, just as friends.
Just as friends. Okay.
If she didn't already know it, within 6 months, she's probably going to learn that just from all the knowledge and stuff that is here in Ythrin. I mean, she now has 2 spell books.
Oh,
Two is it 3? I think it's just 2.
I think it's 2. Yeah,
We
it's
retcon
the
this for like
Lich
1 month.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
Vaughn's going to live in Steinyville anyways and just drink himself to death. Got a big workshop there right next to the brewery. And that's what he's doing.
Okay. So he's not going to live and stay on the
Nope.
floating island, right?
Nope.
Okay. And I heard Benton say the same thing.
With what?
Are you going to stay on the island like permanently, or are you going to be on there for like a month or so, a year, or what are you thinking?
No. I mean, would probably migrate off. As far as where to migrate to, not exactly sure, but would probably migrate off, and yeah, might be near the Grimskala or whatever,
Okay.
for the most part, helping the vessels. But
Well, everyone will know this, but I'm going to go and say it now. So if you're off the island for more than like a month, then your attunement, drops from the city. It's either you're away from it for a month, or you're more than like, I'll say 100 miles from the city. You lose your attunement to it.
Well, Vaughn's got the keg. He'll travel back and forth.
Okay. Even if it's not in 10 towns?
Even if it's not in 10 towns. He'll travel to keep his attunement.
Because, I mean, it still requires all of you guys to agree, but Auril is going to push you guys to travel more than just 10 towns, so everyone can see the wonder of Winter Hall and so you can gain more followers.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she would even take it all the way down the Sword Coast if you guys all agreed to it, because that's obviously going to gain more followers for her as well.
This is getting...
We need to solidify our power up here before we start moving into, further south. More organized groups.
Okay. What are the rest of you guys?
Well, maybe in that case, Vaughn will live up on the city. He doesn't want to give up his attunement.
Okay.
So.
Anybody else have any plans of staying on the island or eventually stepping off?
Shorty lives in Build-A-Bear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in there with his creations, laughing, drinking, having a good time.
He wouldn't even interact with Villain, really. He's just hanging out in Build-A-Bear.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. So I'll say after 5 years, maybe 10, pass for those that are staying on the island, you guys will notice Valin every day she comes to the Mythalar. Starts a little more gaunt, a little more like dehydrated, until one day she arrives and she shares with you guys that she has completed the ritual of lichdom in order to keep her frail body alive even longer. She was already old to begin with, but she has fully embraced the lichdom at this point, and tells each of you that you have 2 weeks to exit Winterfall. And that's where we'll end this campaign.